Team Trials are going down this weekend in Omaha, Nebraska. That's right, September 14th, 15th. Huge weekend in wrestling. Going to start here at 61 kilograms, an incredible weight class, and where Team USA has the returning world champion at this weight class. That's right, Vito Arujau won this weight in 2023, and because of that, he gets to sit out to the final 2 out of 3, while an entire bracket full of savages is wrestled to earn the right to wrestle Vito in that 2 out of 3. Now, who are the big contenders here? Well, there's a lot. And the top seed right now is Nahshon Garrett. Nahshon made it to Final X in 2023, has been very good at 61 kilograms. And at that World Team Trials, he was able to beat both Austin DeSanto and Dayton Fix pretty convincing fashion. So right now, Nahshon looks like he could be the favorite to emerge and make it to Vito. But we're going to get into this full bracket because we've seen Nahshon has had great performances, but then he'll have some performance where you're kind of left scratching your head. So we'll get into his path and some of the other big contenders. Dayton Fix is the 2 seed. Austin DeSanto, the 3. Seth Gross, the 4. Marcus Blaze, the 5. Jax Forrest, the 6. That's right, 2 high schoolers throwing their hat in the ring here at 61 kilograms. Now here's how the bracket is basically constructed based on the pre-seeds. Now, registration is still open, so some hammers could still enter the competition, and I don't know if they would get seeded at this point. I believe they would. But right now, they're not in those wrestlers are obviously not factored into those pre-seeds. So basing it on the current pre-seeds, Nahshon Garrett would get the winner of Devin Turner and Liam Cronin. Cronin was an Olympic Trials qualifier, and you would probably favor him. So Nahshon versus Cronin, and you expect Nahshon to win that one and punch his ticket to the trials semis. Then it starts to get really interesting. Marcus Blaze, Kyle Berwick. Blaze is a really big favorite in that match. If he wins that match, he'll get Seth Gross, which is a really interesting style matchup. Marcus is super positional, very fundamental, is best when guys are attacking him, right? His short offense, go-behinds, re-attacks are really good. Now, the question is a couple things. Seth Gross is one of the great flurry scorers at this weight class. This guy can get a takedown, he can generate, and he can counter score, right? So we've seen Seth Gross can get that 2-on-1, throw it by, he can get that single leg and convert that into crazy points. And that first time wrestling Seth Gross and feeling just how good he is from the top position, particularly when he gets your wrist, not limiting him to just that turn, but he can get wrists and tilt, 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 tilt. He's super good. So that's going to be a major, major test for Marcus Blaze. And the winner of the Blaze-Gross match will get Nahshon Garrett. And of course, when Gross and Garrett wrestle, it's high points almost every time. So that'll be a very anticipated semi, whether it's Blaze or Gross taking on Nahshon. Now checking out the bottom section, Austin DeSanto earned the 3 seed. He'll get the winner of Nico Provo of Stanford and Jax Forrest. So Provo and Forrest are going to wrestle, and it's another great test for Jax Forrest. And it's crazy to say that Jax is a huge favorite here, but how could I not say that? I mean, I just watched this guy qualify for the Olympic trials. I watched him beat Nathan Tomasello. He's had some really great results. So in my mind, I think Jax has a great chance to win this match. Now, Nico Provo was ranked #1 at a point last year at 125 pounds. So he is no joke, but Jax is going to be a favorite here. And that sets up, man, if you think Blaze versus Seth Gross is crazy, talk about Austin DeSanto versus Jax Forrest. 2 guys that are constantly looking to score, but they go about it a completely different way. Austin DeSanto is trying to get his hands on you. He's looking for his fireman's carry. He's looking for his single leg coming out the back door. Crazy, crazy pace and physicality. Jax Forrest, unbelievable slide bys, can scramble, scores and flurries, has the ability to go feet to back as well. Jax is so skilled in so many different areas of wrestling, but can he handle the physicality of DeSanto, this is a guy with a win over Alec Pantelio, who I think is like the 1 or 2 seed at 70 kilograms. That's how good Austin DeSanto is at freestyle. He was not an experienced freestyler coming into college, but we always thought his style would translate, and he's turned into a very solid depth guy at 61. And he's going to be looking to make a deep run here, and I think he's going to be the favorite against Jax Forrest, even though that may be my #1 match to watch coming into the World Team Trials of this quarterfinal round. Now down below, more intrigue. You got Nasir Bailey, who's just coming off his true freshman 4th place finish. He's got Michael Tortoris, and if he beats Tortoris, which he's favored to do, he'll have Dayton Fix. Dayton's accolades in freestyle wrestling are very well known. World silver medalist, multiple world teams. Dayton's kind of done everything on the senior level, making teams and coming home with medals. He's very seasoned. He's great at controlling the mat. His parterre is probably the best at this weight class from a gut wrench, trap arm gut perspective. He's super elite, and this is a big test for Nasir Bailey. As great as I think Nasir's going to be potentially, I still feel like Dayton is a solid favorite here, which is going to set up a semifinal. Dayton Fix versus Austin DeSanto. Now, Dayton beat him up pretty good last time they wrestled at the Final X Wrestle-Off. Has DeSanto been able to improve that? This is a long-standing rivalry, and it's been a one-sided rivalry, right? They've had very, very competitive matches, but it's been Dayton every single time, and I have no reason to think it's going to go differently this time. But every time Austin DeSanto wrestles Dayton Fix, you're tuning in, we're tuning in. That's a great match, and that's just to get to the Challenge Tournament Finals. Dayton, Austin is to get to the Challenge Tournament Finals. That's going to be a great match. And then up top, we'll go back up top. Nashawn Garrett versus Seth Gross is how it's seeded. Could Marcus Blaze play spoiler there? Could Liam Cronin? Maybe. But it feels like it's Gross versus Nashawn, and it's been Nashawn who has won this match more often than not. So it could be another Nashawn versus Dayton Fix or Seth Gross versus Dayton Fix final. Winner gets Vito Arujau. Now, Vito is a huge question because his season last year at NCAA left more questions than answers because he lost to Ryan Crookham. He had some close matches with guys you wouldn't expect, like a Cade Moore from Missouri. And then he loses the EIWAs, and at that point you're like, it doesn't seem like it's going to come together for Vito. And wouldn't you know it, he dominates Ryan Crookham, who he was 0-2 against in the NCAA semis. And then he beats Dayton Fix kind of decisively. And so now we haven't seen Vito since NCAAs because he did not wrestle at the Olympic trials, recovering from injury, and also the cut down to 57 is not a smart thing to do when you've been dealing with an injury all year long. So Vito elected to not wrestle at the Olympic team trials. So now we're kind of wondering, is he fully healthy? Is he ready to rock and roll? Fortunately for Vito, by winning Worlds, he doesn't have to run the gauntlet. He's just got to beat the winner of whoever does run this gauntlet. And that can cut both ways, and he won't wrestle until Sunday. That's when the 2 out of 3 is going to go down. So going to be a great, great 2 days of wrestling at 61 kilograms. It feels like there's a pretty well-defined pecking order, but I want to know what you think. Do you think any of these youngsters could Blaze or Force get on a run? Could we see someone like DeSanto, who is still very young in his freestyle career, emerge and make a Challenge Tournament Finals and potentially challenge Vito Arujau? Now, Vito has tech DeSanto. Vito's going to be a huge favorite, and no matter who he's facing, he's already beaten Nashawn in a 2 out of 3. He's beaten Dayton Fix multiple times collegiately, so he'll be a favorite there. Do you guys think anyone can unseat the reigning world champion Vito Arujau? I'm not ready to pick it yet. I still think this is Vito's weight.